Hey everybody, it's Craig Lindell from Waiting for Next Year. This is WFNY TV, and I got another episode of the podcast show here. Just a real quick one on Stipe Miocic. I'm still kind of glowing over his big victory over Francis Ngannou, and he was on UFC Unfiltered with Jim Norton and Matt Serra, and I have the world's dumbest earbuds in right now. But anyway, he was asked about Ngannou and Ngannou's talk about how he worked the ground game, and Stipe had the best response. This absolutely rules.
It wasn't going to be an easy fight, and he wasn't going to walk through me.
Now, you guys might know the exact quote, Chris, about what he calls Francis's coach.
I have it here.
Oh, you want to read that about his ground game really quick?
Steve, you may have heard this, but we're just going to read it for anybody who has not heard it so you can respond to it. Francis' coach was talking about the ground game. He said the fight was on the ground nearly 80% of the time. So how come he didn't finish him? Francis has a good ground game, and if you check at the end of the fourth round, Francis went for a heel hook, and it made Stipe run away. Francis could have stood up, but he didn't have enough energy. That's why he just laid down. We spent a lot of time working on his ground game with legit black belts. We spent time in Vegas, and he was working with Vinny Magalhães. I hope I'm saying the name right. Magalhães. He showed very good things. Stipe had head control, but he didn't finish Francis. Stipe had a guillotine, but he didn't finish him. Stipe escaped a heel hook from Francis. When was the last time you saw a heavyweight go for a heel hook? And, as Jim Norton, I'll just throw in, I think it was Mir Lesnar. It's not fair to say he didn't work his ground game. He did. It's not fair to say that Francis didn't work the wrestling. He did. Wrestling isn't just about attacking. It's about defending, and he showed good things on that. So how do you feel about that, Stipe?
Yeah, whatever. I won the fight, so I really don't care what anyone says.
Stipe don't give a shit.
You're a meat and potatoes guy.
Oh, Stipe don't get caught up in the fucking drama, Stipe. You don't care. That's fucking great.
I don't care at all.
Now,
And that's what makes him the baddest man on the planet. That's a pretty good podcast. I love some of the guests. I skip over some of the other guests. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Quick episode. I listen to the podcast so that you don't have to. Thanks for checking out WFNY TV.